If you're new here, welcome. I'm Romane and I live and travel in a van with my boyfriend and our cat, Yuki. I've always dreamed about sleeping in a desert, about getting lost in the Milky Way for hours. I think it started with a book I read as a teenager. Aristotle and Dante discover the secrets of the universe. And I remember, maybe incorrectly, there is this one specific scene where the two characters drive in a pickup truck into the desert and stargaze from the back. And my brain created such a vivid image of it that it stayed with me and eventually transformed into a dream. So when we started craving warmth after a month in Northern Europe, I immediately thought of Spain. It has the largest desert of Europe and you are actually allowed to camp there. So I thought my dream was finally within reach, but I guess nature had other plans. Our first stop was the Bardenas Reales, a UNESCO biosphere reserve near the Pyrenees. The landscape of white clay and dramatic plateaus took my breath away. I never imagined Europe could look like this. But the access is strictly controlled, so there was no camping allowed. It wasn't the place for my dream, but it was a beautiful beginning. You wouldn't believe this used to be a lake. Can you imagine? It must have been so big and deep.
Why won't you say nothing at all? Just walk on by. Don't give me your love. Why won't you say nothing at all? Just walk on by. Don't give me your love. I'm tired. God knows I'm tired. Why won't you just look at me when you walk on by? Don't give me your love. Why won't you just look at me when you walk on by? Don't give me your love. I'm tired.
The next day we tried to find the Black Bardenas, a wider, greener parts of the desert. But without a 4x4, the muddy roads turned into a bad dream. And we had to leave the van behind to walk. We only ended up getting a sneak peek because it was far too vast to reach the heart of the desert on foot, and we had to move on. After starting with the most accessible part of the desert, I realized that getting into Spain desert would probably prove harder than I expected.
Oh, say nothing at all when you walk on by.
The van is in a pretty bad state after all those dirt roads. Next was the Monegros Desert, the biggest desert in Spain. It was the one I had been all my hopes on, since you are allowed to camp there. We have been waiting for the last 3 days to get some good weather and to go to the Monegros Desert. I've been very excited to go there. So I can get a night under the stars in a desert, as I dream of. But the weather has been pretty bad these last days. A lot of rain. It is good right now, but it has been raining all day. And we have to wait for a dry weather, so the roads are actually usable for us because we don't have a 4x4. There are good weather coming, which I don't think is enough to get some good roads. So even though I really want to do that desert, we are going to skip it and go to the Spain coast where the weather is much better. We are not skipping the desert entirely. We have a plan to just go back on our step and get to the desert eventually if everything goes well. And if we can't, well, it's fine. There are other deserts in Spain where you can sleep in, so does that mean I won't be able to live my dream? Just that I have to be more patient for it. So it's alright. And in the meantime, I'm very excited about going to the coast. So I guess I will see you later when I actually get to a desert. Weeks later, in the south, we arrived in Albania. This new desert felt like a new chance for my dream.
Woke up today, felt more of the same. A marathon runner, running in place. Carved through the hills like a river to nowhere. A little less thinking, a little more space.
It was beautiful and in full bloom, but it was small, surrounded by cities and light pollution. There, I finally slept in the desert. But the glow of the human world was everywhere. The stars were hidden behind a veil of city lights, and my quest was still ongoing.
Searching for problems to answers I found. It ain't good for nothing, it just adds to the noise. Choir of static, what's one more voice? Doing my best, looking for rest, for a marathon mind. Marathon mind.
Weeks later again, as our time in Spain was coming to an end, I couldn't let go of Monte Cross. So we decided to drive back north for one last attempt. This time the sun was out and the ground was dry, and we finally made it into the heart of this unique gem in Europe. And it was absolutely spectacular, the kind of landscapes that makes you feel on another planet. And I was waiting for the night with a lot of excitement, but then again the desert had its own ideas.
But I never passed your stupid test. You only lied and then you left, and I cried at the knife inside my chest. What did I ever do to you to deserve nothing from you? You liked playing your games, that much is true, but all I ever did was lose. Yes, all we ever did was lose. Next time I hope you'll think before you lose.
It has been an old dream of mine to sleep in the desert, and today is the day. It's actually not the first time, but the last time there were too much light pollution, so it was actually a bit of a trouble to find an entry for this desert. There are many roads, but a lot of them are not either authorized or not suitable for our van. We don't have an off-road van, so we had to find the most accessible road, and we did. It was okay, some rough patches, but it was mostly fine. I haven't been feeling so well these last few days, but being here already cheered me up. I am so happy. We've actually been waiting for 2 days just at the edge of the desert because the wind was so strong. It was really uncomfortable to be outside. At some point At some point, the wind speed was 110 kilometers per hour, so it was a lot, and it was ice cold as well. So yeah, we decided to wait it out, and today was better, although there are still some wind. It's fine. The day didn't start it so well though, because we had the very famous knock. Yeah, the police came to see us. It was a bit weird actually. There was some kind of good cop, bad cop at play, with one of them saying everything was fine and they weren't going to do anything, and the other one telling us that there are some places in Aragon, the area we are currently, where you're not allowed to park and sleep for the night. Also, the communication was pretty difficult because they don't speak English and we don't speak Spanish. They did took our papers and told us to wait for them to come back, and they went back to their car and called someone, told them our names and gave them our license plates. And then, I don't know, they waited something and ended up coming back and telling us it was fine, that we were actually allowed to sleep where we were, which we were pretty sure about because there was nothing there. And we knew for sure that we were allowed to sleep in the Monegros Desert. So yeah, we were a bit surprised by this whole thing. Maybe the reality is that they needed to check our identity for whatever reasons, whatever stuff the police has going on here. Yeah, I don't know. It was a pretty stressful start of the day. At least they did confirm at the end that we were allowed to sleep in the desert, so everything should be fine now. I don't know if it's gonna be the best night for stargazing. It's kind of cloudy. It's not very big, thick clouds, but still. And the moon is shining pretty bright these days. It's not full moon yet, but it's not far. So I don't know what the sky will look like tonight. So I guess I have to wait and see. The sun is setting and it's absolutely beautiful outside. I really wanted to eat outside to enjoy the view. I was gonna put our carpets outside and make it so cozy and nice, but the wind is strong and so cold. So I think unfortunately we're going to pass because it won't be very nice.
In the empty fall, in the silence, listen. May it lift your heart and move your feet to run again. May you wander far, you will not be lost within. And you'll see the light, though the darkness seems so strong. In the deepest night, let love lead you. Come and rest your head
The wind was absolutely icy and very intense, and the moon was so full and bright that it completely washed out the sky. There were absolutely no stars in sight. Just so cold. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed. But this quest reminded me of something important. Nature doesn't perform on command, and regardless of how much we want a moment, it only happens when the world is ready to give it to you. I'm not worried though. Monegros is pretty close to France, and I know I will have other chances to come back and better prepared this time. But for now, sleeping in the silence of the desert was enough.